So I posted up a video on Instagram, basically all the social media platforms, talking about women should not marry single mothers, right? And I got a lot of pushback, especially from women, which makes sense, as well as the men, right? So I was expecting a lot of pushback from the women, obviously, which is natural. But when it came to the men, I was not expecting that. But, obviously some men will generally side with women, in order for them to get one up. They think that siding with women will get them more punani points, right? Cool. So why would I make a video basically stating that women or single mothers are a bad deal and are almost like used vehicles, which was maybe a little harsh term, right? So the reason I basically stated that is because when you're in these dating network, what you generally find is that the women who are single mothers, working, not working, etc., generally come into relationship like they have leverage, meaning they come into relationships like they have more to offer to the table, because maybe they are working, forgetting that yes, as when they have a child, it lowers their value, right? This wasn't a problem maybe 50 years ago. Women had an understanding, which if you have a child coming into a relationship, your value has decreased. Hence, in the Bible, it stated no sex before marriage. And historically, Amazulu, they would basically know if a woman is not a virgin, her value has decreased. If a woman has a child by another man, she cannot be the first wife within the relationship. She has to be a second wife. These were traditions that were held very deeply in the Nguni tribes. I'm not sure about the other tribes. I'm not very well aware of that. But even if you take it to the Indian culture, when you look at the Indian culture, they wear robes only showing their eyes. And they close that. So, just that in their tradition, they are basically trying to hide the woman from being seen by other men, right? Because purity is what's wanted in every culture and is almost a global thing. Men want their woman to be pure, hence the white dress or wedding dress is a white dress. Because it symbolizes purity, it symbolizes virginity. So a guy who takes in or dates a woman who has a child by another person is essentially getting a much lesser value for his money, because he'll be expected to pay for ilobola, right? And beside, he'll be expected to pay ilobola, which is, can be random 50,000 if you count in maybe the dressing, the fashion, the clothes, the traditional clothes that will be purchased there, the catering, etc. And then the majority of weddings in South Africa, they also require a white wedding, which is additional money. That can go very high as well, because you have to book a place, which costs a specific amount of money. And then even after that, you still have to pay for wedding dress, outfits, catering, which can cost even an amount of like 20,000. That's food. You still have to pay for the labor cost. So all of those costs are very expensive, and all of those costs are expected from the male. So this is generally a challenge. And it is a man basically having to pay that amount of money. So when I made the analogy that men are paying for women, I was basically insinuating that, hey, men have to pay that 50,000 that I have mentioned. And they also have to go and pay out the other 100,000 or 120,000. So those amounts of payments are synonymous to a vehicle, because you can get yourself a vehicle that costs 150,000. That is money you pay. So why would you want to pay for something that is not brand new? Because even if, for instance, I ask the women, hey, ladies, do you want to get If you have $500,000, do you want a brand new car or old car? Most of the women will say, hey, I want a brand new car. You understand? That's the analogy. Men are cost and benefit calculators. They always want to know, what's the cost of me doing this? Of getting this woman? How much money am I going to be paying to maintain this child that is not mine? When it comes to me paying or buying Christmas clothes, and I have 1,000 Rand I want to spend for the child that I have perhaps made with this wife who is a single mother, and my budget for Christmas is 1,000, that means I will have to now go and pay another 1,000 for the other child. That's 2,000. That means I'm paying more money, right? So that makes it more expensive for me as a father of a child taking, or the husband taking on another man's child and a responsibility. So that was basically what I was saying. It is more expensive to take in a single mother than it is to take a woman with no children. And generally, men are more attracted. Hi, Shaman. Men are more attracted to women who are much younger in age. Women have always known this. But for some weird reason in 2022, they have a problem with it. Women know that at age 50, there's not a lot of men looking for you. And it's not the same for men. Not specifically at age 50, but after the age of 30, it becomes a challenge for a woman to find a suitable candidate, meaning for her to find a more successful man to take her seriously and to take her for marriage. This is what we do know, and women inevitably do know this. Hence, you will find white women getting married very early at varsity. For instance, Tabi and I went to UJ, right? And you'd see all the white girls in class got married or were married at varsity when we came in, right? But if you look at the Indians as well, they were married at varsity at the ages of 20 up to 24, around that age. So when you look at all those things, and then you look at Chinese women, they also get married very early. Then you look at the remaining, or the denominator, the black women. The black women are the most unmarried, and they are dominant in terms of the population. But they are more likely, or generally do say, that they are too young for marriage. So this is a challenge, because what tends to happen is them thinking that they are young is cool, but the problem comes from them being sexually active. Because they might say they're young, but they're still sexually active. So that generally becomes a problem. Because they are sexually active, and then what do they do after that? I need to cut this video. I need to cut this video because there's kids around here. So thank you for listening. Oh, Prince! So, let me maybe continue a little bit. So, because they are still active in terms of the dating. I need to cut these things off. How do I cut these views off? Guys, I'll be having another live later on. Hey, Prince, great. I'll be having a live much later on. I was just doing a short session now. But I'll post this one up. Let's call my single mother, Prince. And Tabi, thank you for joining me, and cheers.